I thought that'd be a little bit more dramatic. Hey guys, welcome back to Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft. I'm Andrew, and I have a quick video for you this weekend on a personal escape kit. Stand by. All right, so we learn about 3 different types of restraints in the military, and these restraints are basic, and they fit across 3 different detainee situations that we could come across. 1 is being a hostage, 2 being detained by a foreign government, and then 3 being a prisoner of war. These are what are taught because they're most typical what the soldier could encounter in any of those environments. And it's important we understand the restraints because duct tape is going to be a lot less sophisticated than a handcuff, and that tells us a lot, not only about the restraint and how to escape those items, but also the sophistication of our captors, which is why it is important to understand these things. So we're going to have 3 different types of restraints to learn. The first one is duct tape, second, zip ties, and then third is going to be those handcuffs. All right, so that first one is duct tape. Duct tape is probably the most ubiquitous item when it comes to detainment or capturing or taking somebody hostage, kidnappings especially. It's found just about anywhere, and nobody thinks about duct tape really as a restraint item, even though it's popularized on TV. Nobody really gives a second thought to somebody carrying 1 or 2 rolls of heavy-duty duct tape around unless they have other paraphernalia with them. But this duct tape tells us a lot, not only about the restraint itself, we can easily tear this or cut this along a sharp or jagged edge, but it also tells us about the sophistication level of our captor. That captor is probably in a hurry, most likely, and just needs some quick fix to detain somebody, get them out of the area, and then apply better restraints or stronger materials later on once the actual movement away from the X is complete and the next process of detainment or kidnapping or hostage taking. Next are zip ties. These are used by more sophisticated individuals, think law enforcement, think military, carry zip ties to purposefully detain somebody, slap these on the EPW, enemy prisoner of war, or the criminal. They're restrained almost immediately and then can be moved so that operation can continue. A little bit more suspicious compared to duct tape, and the people that know how to use these are doing this quick, fast, and in a hurry and have a purpose behind using zip ties. So that tells us a lot about zip ties, the captors, and then having these on our wrists or on our feet, going to be a little bit harder to break out of. And that third set of restraints are going to be handcuffs. These are the most sophisticated types of restraints that a soldier may be encountering out there in the field because they require a key to get into and out of, but if we don't have that key and these are already on our wrist, especially with a double lock, we're gonna have to use some hardware to actually pick or shim out of these handcuffs. But these are also highly suspicious unless you're law enforcement carrying a badge and a gun. So these are gonna be usually hidden and not thrown out in the open unless you actually use these professionally. Not a lot of people are going to be carrying these, so red flags right there, but these are going to be the most sophisticated that are hardest to get out of. All right, so now we understand the 3 different types of restraints, as well as those 3 different scenarios I told you about. That just gives us a foundation to start with when building a personal escape kit, because there are other restraints out there. There are other types of situations. I'm not discounting those at all, but this is just the basic setup and the basic understanding, so we have a foundation to work from. Now that we understand those restraints, we can take a look at a kit and build our personal escape kit based off the most common types of restraints that we're going to encounter, as well as those 3 different types of situations. Tailor it accordingly and then be able to explain it away or have it hidden in such a way that we can actually get it through a search and maintain it long enough to actually escape from restraints. Here's what I consider a good escape kit. We're going to need things that we can easily conceal. We can obviously have a lot of these items just out in the open, things like flashlights or even a metal cuff key. But other things we can put on our clothing, hide these things to increase our chances of those items being with us after a search. A couple of those items that we can conceal fairly easily. Paracord. We can easily conceal paracord in our clothing. I've got some paracord as boot laces right now. Preload this, use it as shoelaces. We can use this paracord to saw through zip ties. We can do the same thing with Kevlar cordage. We can take a piece about 1 foot long, put it in our pocket, may be confused as pocket lint and go unnoticed, and we can use that to saw through zip ties or other restraints as well. Other things that are easy for us to explain away could be things like a hair barrette could be easily placed in the pocket. It's unassuming. We do laundry at the public laundromat, or we have women in the house and a hair barrette just happened to make it through the wash into our pocket. We can take that hair barrette and the bottom portion down here, we can turn into just a basic shim like this. You take that, use it to get out of handcuffs. We can do the same thing with a bobby pin or hairpin. Turn it into a figure 4 shape with just a slight bend right here at the tip on that straight edge. We can use this to pick or key out of cuffs. Something like that. I thought that'd be a little bit more dramatic. Other things we could probably have, we can obviously carry just a regular old cuff key with us to get out of those handcuffs very easily. One thing that I like to do is get the button cuff key, very small. You can actually sew it into our clothing. This is one. It's already been broken off. We can use that same way as a cuff key to get out of those restraints. We also have small razors. These are in 100-mile-an-hour tape, and all these are ceramic razors. I've got one still here in the package, and it's ceramic. It won't go off in a metal detector. It can be easily concealed inside clothing, but we use this razor to cut through restraints, possibly zip ties, but more likely cordage. Cordage like this, if we can't find a rough edge around the room, we can try to get to that razor and attempt to cut our way out. We can also use that razor as a makeshift striker for a ferro rod. The razor's got a lot of different uses, and this is a good one to have. We should also have probably just a small flashlight. If we're in a dark place and this just happens to make it through the search, we can use this to actually find our way or look around. You can find really cheap small lights like this one, little button lights like this, or small LED lights that are very, very bright in a lot of different locations. Stores have them at the checkout aisle. These are great just to slip in a pocket. May go unnoticed as part of a search, help to see in the dark if we have to get out of a dark room. And we should have probably a small button compass to go in our cash belt as well, or in our pocket, or in our shoe. That way, if it makes it through a search, or we have this and we happen to escape and get outside of that room, we have the ability to find directions and just move quickly with a button compass like that. We can also make a button compass with magnets. Magnets are unassuming. You have this makeshift compass where the silver is pointing north and the black is pointing south. You have north facing that direction, north facing over there, and then with our makeshift magnet compass, you see it points the same direction as our button compass. This type of compass can be concealed in our pants at the hem of our boot, unsuspecting, just to give us a cardinal direction. Just in case of emergency, we have these. At least it's a creative way to get a cardinal direction. And so a small kit like this, a lot of these items concealed easily. Some can go in our pockets and are unsuspecting. Things that may be taken off of us in a search. If not, we still have them on us in ways to actually get out of a lot of these different restraints that we talked about. Tape, zip ties, and handcuffs. All right, guys, a very down and dirty video today on our personal escape kit. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and today being out in the public, got to thinking about escape and the items that we could have on us. This is just a small list for just basic restraints and basic scenarios that I've described. We could go into a lot more depth and add on or take away to this kit. It's all based on our own situation, the practice and training that we have. So have a good personal escape kit with you. Have it concealed. Practice with it. Practice getting out of restraints just in the off chance that you may have to actually escape and save your life or save somebody else's life in the future. But I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section. I always appreciate you guys' feedback. Well, thank you guys for what you do for me, for this channel, for your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.